Hello and welcome to Engaged, the program that focuses on community-engaged research, teaching, and service at Mississippi State University. I'm your host, Megan Franks, and today we are joined by Malik Ross. He serves as an AmeriCorp VISTA with the Center for Community-Engaged Learning at Mississippi State, and he's also a student with Mississippi State's first PRISM PR agency. He's serving as their creative director. Hello, Malik, and welcome to Engage.
Hey there, Megan. Thank you for having me.
So I would love to get to know a little bit more about you, Malik, kind of how you came to Mississippi State University, where you're from, and also how you found yourself with the position as AmeriCorp VISTA, and then also in your community-engaged learning experience this semester.
Okay, well, Megan, I am from Cleveland, Mississippi, so I am a proud Delta boy. And the reason that I came to Mississippi State was I was actually being recruited by Delta State, and I was looking at the different schools, and once I came to Mississippi State, I just felt more at home than other places. And that was very important to me at the time, making sure that the place that I would spend 4 years at would be my new home. And Mississippi State served that for me.
Sure.
And so, in coming here, I always wanted to make sure that I was getting involved, so I was giving back to the university. And I found the opportunity to be in AmeriCorp VISTA, and I decided that it would be the best of both worlds with me getting professional experience while also being able to give back to my community.
Absolutely. And so as an AmeriCorp VISTA, kind of what are your responsibilities right now?
I serve as a PR and marketing coordinator for AmeriCorp VISTA, and what that consists of is me telling the story on behalf of my office, which is the Maroon Volunteer Center. We do community engaged learning work, and I try to utilize my graphic design skills as well as my PR skills to effectively tell that story on behalf of the office.
And you found with your experiences of VISTA that is kind of one of the areas where you're skilled and where agencies need support, right?
Right. For a lot of agencies, they have the big vision, but they don't necessarily know how to convey that vision. And I feel like a lot of times people don't realize how important that is, because with any demographic or any audience, you still want to be able to reach them so they can get involved, or you're making sure that you're relaying the purpose for that agency. So for a person like me, I come in and I try to assess the needs of the agency and see exactly what their strong suits are and how I can utilize graphic design as well as PR skills to convey that story.
And you're a senior, correct?
I am.
And so as a senior, also serving as an AmeriCorp member, you're involved in a community engaged learning experience as well in the classroom. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So my first community engaged learning course was with Dr. Maravaki, and it was campaign politics. And at the time, although I worked in the office, I don't think I knew the full extent of what community engaged learning was at the time. Looking back, I feel like community engaged learning is the best form of learning that the university has to offer. And what that consisted of was us making sure that we were getting students registered to vote in the election at the time. I found that to be very important because, as I said, I wanted to give back to the university, but at the same time, it made me realize that a lot of times with the standard classes, we take tests and we learn the curriculum and then we're on to the next. But with community engaged learning, you have so many aspects that are moving together that you have a full learning experience, and every time you leave, you have a better understanding of the world around you and how you can give back to the community. In addition to campaign politics, I am now in religions and environment with Dr. Witt, and that class has really opened up my mind to philosophy, I would say. And just with the things that we talk about in that class, it makes you realize that you have a place in this world and you have to do something to give back positively, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then now in your, I guess, last semester, you're serving as the creative director for PRISM. So explain PRISM to me.
Yeah, so PRISM stands for Public Relations and Integrated Student Media. And what that is a student-led PR firm that we're fortunate enough to have here at Mississippi State. One of my aspirations when I first came to Mississippi State was to be a creative director. At the time, I chose the graphic design route, and then I felt that that wasn't for me and chose more of an administrative route and went business administration. And so when I heard about this agency, I wanted to make sure that I got involved because here in Mississippi, we don't have a lot of creative agencies, and it's very hard to get experience unless you're moving out of Mississippi. And to be able to utilize the raw talent that we have here at the university, and at the same time, we're getting those skills to go out into the professional world, I felt like there wasn't a better deal, to be honest with you.
And how does it work? So you're the creative director. What are some of the additional roles that students play in that, and how do you guys communicate with each other?
Right. So we, the way it's set up is we have the advisor and agency director, who is Dr. Terry Hernandez, and then under her we have Emily Shigoda, and she really is a student who oversees everything that goes on. Under her, there's both me and Blake Williams, and we are the heads of our teams, and then we both have separate teams who service different clients, but at the same time, we're applying the same principles of marketing, PR, videography work, and that's something else that I wanted to add. With Prism, it doesn't necessarily have to be just for PR people. It encompasses a lot, and we want to make sure that we're servicing the client in every aspect possible. So yes, we do take videography people, graphic design people, business people. It's very diverse, and we hope to make it bigger in the years to come.
And then you guys meet like weekly to discuss projects, or is it there's a class component and then an out of the class component, right?
So every week we meet on Mondays and Wednesdays, but a lot of times we also have to do work outside of the class. We want to make sure that we're servicing the clients in the best way possible, and sometimes that doesn't happen just in the classroom. So we do put in some hours outside of that, and I've found that it's been an experience that's taught me a lot, I will say.
And something that you would rather have in college, I guess, versus going out in your first position maybe and not having some of those, I mean, say challenges, but then also just the excitement of some of the things that you all have been able to create together as students. And so give me an example of something that y'all are working on currently.
So sure. One of our clients is Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa, and so what that encompassed was one day we decided to have a B-roll day, and we went to Tuscaloosa and we got to drive all of their luxury cars so we could better understand the product. And we took that knowledge and we came back and we kind of formulated how exactly we wanted to produce social media content for them based on our experience. One strong suit that they have is they are a small team that makes sure that you feel at home when you come in. They make sure that they're giving you personal service, they're checking in on you. So it was very easy for our team to convey that because that environment was already there. Alongside that, our client is C-Cell, of course. And one thing that we did for C-Cell was kind of rebrand them and make sure that they have a social media presence on Instagram and Facebook, better telling our story, which is, as I said, part of my job as well.
Yeah, I get all the updates and the lovely graphics and the great messaging. And the other thing that I've noticed is throughout the semester, at all of these community engagement, professional development programs, I've seen students out there taking photos and documenting, and I think that's it's just been kind of a wonderful addition to that program. And then also the valuable experience that you all are getting, you know, working together. The communication, I understand, is key to make that program successful. So great stuff. Now I've been told that it was really your work, part of the Fellows Showcase. So Mississippi State's first Faculty Fellows program, so where we had 15 fellows that spent their May kind of developing a community engaged learning class. Usually one of those fellows, you were in their class last semester with campaign politics. And so you developed the kind of, you showcased all of the faculty fellows and their work as part of the annual showcase for the faculty fellows. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So talk a little bit about that, because I'm sure it was not an easy project.
Right. So as I said, a lot of times, you said something very important. Communication is the key. And with my position, you have to be attentive to what the person is asking of you. And so Michelle Garraway, who is my superior, we began talking about how exactly we wanted to showcase these boards. And so what I had to kind of do was listen to Michelle and what she was wanting and try to translate that into something visual.
Right.
So my vision for the boards were not, I didn't want them to be the standard boards and very boring. I wanted to put a stylistic aspect to the boards, but at the same time effectively showcase exactly what these fellows were doing. Right. It was a very long process, but I think that was great for professional development, because there would be drafts and I would have to go back and do other drafts. But it was very rewarding when the boards were all done and people were complimenting them. It made me feel good. And I can honestly say that having done that that whole project, I feel more equipped for the professional world, just because, as I said, I'm working those mental muscles, getting the understanding of exactly how this works as far as design, listening to my superior, making sure that I'm translating her needs. Yeah, it was a great project though, and I will say it's worthwhile.
And they're beautiful. They're on display at Old Main, I think, for an additional month. So if anybody is looking to see your good work, they're in the gallery at Old Main on Mississippi State's campus. And so, yeah, wonderful
I appreciate that
program. So we've about a little bit of time left. If you have maybe any tips or advice for a student that might be getting involved as a VISTA or with a community engaged learning class, what would your tips be?
One thing that Mississippi State has taught me is that every student who comes, it's their responsibility to leave their legacy. And their legacy is not being known or being popular. Your legacy is giving back. As I said earlier, with AmeriCorp, as well as my other involvement, I've had a chance to give back, and I would suggest to any student coming to Mississippi State, make sure that you plug yourself in, utilize the resources, and create your legacy, I would say.
Fantastic, Malik. Well, thank you for coming out today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on this session of Engaged. Until next time, go forth and do good work and make a difference in your local community. Thank you.